Behind me is the SiriusXM. Let me see if I can pan up. The SiriusXM HQ. Yeah, check that out. There's a better view. A lot of great radio has been made inside that building. I'm not referring to me, I'm referring to Howard, because this is the mothership. So let me see if I can set my camera here. How's that? So I'm in New York City today to do the SiriusXM program. I'm looking forward to that because Mark Halpern is going to join me in studio, and we're going to take calls. You know, Mark is my guest every Wednesday in the second hour of the program, but it's usually an interview that I do with him based on that day's newsletter, his, not mine. And then we don't take calls together, but I invited him into studio today, and he said that he would do so. So I'm looking forward to that. And then Patty Davis is going to be my guest in the third hour of the program. Patty Davis, the writer, the daughter of Ronald and Nancy Reagan. I have to say, I really like her. I really like her appearances on my program. And she wrote a provocative piece for the New York Times that's in today's newsletter. And it's a story that says that Joe Biden needs to take a page out of her father's book in the upcoming debate against Donald Trump. In other words, be civil, be civil. Remember, well, there you go again. But I wanted to actually tell you a story that you've heard from me before, but I'm here in the belly of the beast, and so it brings back a lot of memories for me. Let me first paint the picture for you of sort of the cavernous area where I'm seated. You get a feel? It's kind of funny because over there, I hope you can see Radio City Music Hall. That is the whole, 30 Rock complex. And as a matter of fact, in inclement weather, I can go downstairs in the SiriusXM building and I can walk over to the whole Rockefeller Center, 30 Rock, NBC, MSNBC, Today Show, HQ. There's like a whole city underground here, which is really amazing. And I think many people don't even know that it exists without, coming up to the elements. So I've said this before, for a 5-year time period in the 2000s, I wish I could be more specific with regard to the years, but I want to say centered at about 2005, there was a time period when I was affiliated with MSNBC, and pretty much my sole job was to guest host for Chris Matthews when he would be on vacation. And I would do that from right over there, okay, in 30 Rock. In fact, it was kind of funny because in that era, on the same floor was the Matthews team, although they were the hardball team, although they were mostly in DC, so there were a couple of us. Court was a nice guy. I remember him. He was a Lehigh guy. He was a writer. And then Rachel Maddow was at the end of the hall, and at the other end was Keith Olbermann. And I was in the middle, and I would arrive, true story, I would arrive having already done a radio show in the morning drive in Philly. And by the way, I would do that from CBS. Holy crap. This is like aging me just to think about it. I would get up early and, I know what some of you are thinking. I can't read your comments because there's too much going on. But some of you are probably saying, oh, like this is the Michael's equivalent of, and I walked 5 miles to school. Well, so be it. I would get up and I would do morning drive in Philly, and I would do it from the CBS headquarters because the Philly station was a CBS affiliate. And then I would be on air hosting for Bill O'Reilly from Fox News, which is 1 block to the south. I just passed by, 1 block to the south of where I am. And that would be 12 to 2. TC and I, to this day, if we have a 2-hour program for whatever reason, we'll say, oh, we've got an O'Reilly today. Okay, then I would leave Fox News and I would walk right here, Avenue of the Americas, 6th Avenue, and I would walk about, I could take a look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks and go to Rockefeller Center to do the Matthews show, which was at a 5 o'clock broadcast. And then that was replayed at 7 o'clock. And then I would go home. Unless I were doing it for a second day in a row. Those were crazy days. Those were really crazy days. CBS, Fox News, NBC, all in the same day. A lot of and you know, the funny thing is, the hardball people were really good to me, and the O'Reilly people were really good to me. John Reese was Chris's executive director. David Tabakoff was Bill O'Reilly's executive producer, I should say. And there was never anything said. There was certainly never anything written, but I would always be so dialed in for my morning program so that whatever worked for morning radio is what I would do typically for O'Reilly, and then that which I would pitch for hardball. But of course, trying to be the Switzerland of this polarized cable world and radio world, I just knew better than to pitch certain guests for the O'Reilly show or certain guests for hardball. You know what I mean? And I just appreciated the work. I just appreciated the work. And then, and I know you've heard me say this before, and it's not sour grapes. It's just life. Neither of those gigs led to what I wanted. Full of ambition. You guest host for somebody with a national platform. You say, I can do this. I want to do this. So in the case of O'Reilly, when he finally gave up that radio gig, the syndicator came to me and they said, you do a really good job. You're formatics. You're a quality broadcaster, you know, blowing smoke at me and so forth. But you're not a name. You're just not a name. We need a name. And that's when they hired Fred Thompson, who had been a U.S. Senator from Tennessee and also the actor in The Hunt for Red October, really good movie. And he got that gig, and I did not. I was ultimately syndicated from a different syndicator soon thereafter, but I didn't get the gig. And then relative to Hardball and MSNBC and Matthews, you've heard me say this before perhaps, but they said to me, we are young, liberal, and nerdy. You do a great job for Chris, but you're none of the above. So you're not getting this gig either. Yeah, so funny stuff. I guess I really just wanted to tell you that it's a beautiful day in Midtown Manhattan. I'm looking forward to doing the SiriusXM radio program from the mothership. And I'm just sitting here, you know, curbside and having a cup of coffee and thinking about all the memories that I have right here in this neighborhood. A lot of shoe leather, just a lot of hustling right around here. And I'm also grateful. I'll give a shout out to Dave Gorab and the people at SiriusXM, because this has been a really good relationship for me. Just very professional, very courteous, no bullshit. I have been with SiriusXM for 11 years. I cannot remember a point of conflict. How many of us can say that about our partners, about our employers? I cannot remember a point of conflict that they are First Amendment purists. You know, when that bullshit came up recently with Dickinson, there was never a concern that SiriusXM was going to they understood entirely. And Scott Greenstein and Dave, just really good people. Really good people. And I've known Dave for a long time, even longer than my story about beating the pavement here. So, yeah. You want to take a look around before I shut down? Here. I'll give you the 360. So, 1221 Avenue of the Americas. Way the hell up there are the studios. I think Barclays, I think that was Lehman Brothers. I think when Lehman collapsed, that's where all the shit went down. Radio City, you see, Del Frisco's, Fox is over that away. Avenue of the Americas, what am I at? I think I'm at 49th. So, Hang on, let me just see if there are any comments here that I can read. I need my glasses because they're prescription, okay? What can I tell you? Jeff, start spreading the news. Yeah, it does feel that way, right? Hey, Jeff, I'll tell you something funny that you should say. When I came through the tunnel last night, that's another story I'll tell on air. I was on Abby Phillips' show on CNN last night, and to just go into the makeup room was to see this like rogues gallery, of which I'm a member, I say it affectionately, of all the lawyers providing commentary for the Trump trial. But to your point, start spreading the news. I listened to Sinatra. On my buds, I was listening to Sinatra coming into town because it just felt that way. You know what I mean? It just felt that way. Kate Kelly, will there be another YouTube Live today? Yeah, in about 37 minutes, as soon as I hustle inside and as long as I can make the connection. Double live today, Tammy. That is correct. Jeff, you're loving it. All right. Hey, PJ, who is great and is at Creative and is probably dialed in here, has always said to me, why don't you just go live? You get to go to interesting places and do interesting things. Why? And it's because I usually screw up the settings. Taking a show while you're there? No, Robert, no show. What do I want to see? I want to see Sunset Boulevard, which was just in London and is coming to, thank you, Jamal, and is coming to the US, but I don't know if it's here yet. Yeah. All right. You like the bonus, Thomas? Good. Well, I appreciate all you guys. I really do. Been a crazy couple of days. Needs better glasses. You don't like my glasses? How's that? Huey Lewis? Sweeney Todd? You're all very nice. All right. I guess I better get in there, right? And get it together. It'll be nice to have Mark in studio with me today and taking your phone calls. So your opportunity to call. Your opportunity to call. All right. I better scram. See you, gang. Appreciate all of you, and I'll see you real soon. I'll change my routine. I'll put on my sweater so it doesn't look like you've already experienced me for the day. See ya.